So the other day, my dad and me were driving back from lunch, and we saw that they had just finished a new gas station. And my dad was thrilled. He was like, "Oh, wow. We didn't have gas stations like that back in the day. I might have to stop by and get myself a big gulp." And I just kind of ignored that. And we made it back to the office. Uh, Time between seeing the gas station and getting to the office, about 8 minutes. And I checked Facebook just because, brain rot. That's what I do. And the first thing I see on Facebook is that the gas station we just passed was robbed and the young clerk was shot to death for $25 and a carton of Newports. Now, I like Newports. There's a lot of stuff I would do for a Newport. I think that might have been crossing the line a little bit. The town I work at orbits Houston. And let me tell you, it's not the place to be. Like walking through the area, it's like walking through the extras break room on the set of The Walking Dead. It's not good. I think we used to have asylums here, like mental asylums or something, but because of funding or like a false sense of compassion, they just let all the patients out for the kids at the bus stop to deal with instead. And basically for this reason, I carry, we'll call it an airsoft Smith & Wesson with me at all times, because incidents like this one at the gas station happen a couple times a week. A lot. They happen a lot. So anyways, that's where I work. And that's kind of all I've known my whole life. And just for contrast, a couple weeks ago, my fiance and me were at an Asian shopping center in Katy, Texas, which is also kind of an orbiting principality of Houston, the Houston area. And we were shopping late at night. Now, we parked the car because I don't know if you've ever been to an Asian shopping center, but you have slightly better odds on foot to get where you're trying to go. And that's what we did. We were walking to the shops, crossing the streets. I got my normal kind of guarded mentality. But slowly that mentality that I picked up from the town I worked in just kind of started melting away. Because there were kids, girls, grandmas, everyone was just walking around late at night. Not worried, having fun, getting mochi. And for the first time in a long time, I felt like the airsoft Smith & Wesson that I had crammed in my pants was just dead weight. This place, Katy, Texas, at least this shopping center, this was a high trust society. I've never grown up around a high trust society. And the craziest part being here, because this was my first time here, was how close it was to the town I work in. Like, these are both kind of on the outskirts of Houston. They're pretty close. You'd probably call both of them Houston if you were from Wisconsin, but they're night and day different. And I realized that the way I live, carrying my airsoft hand cannon around all day, avoiding the walkers on the sidewalk who are gonna they'll either ask me for the time, stab me, or both if it's stab me o'clock. But I realize we don't have to live like this. It's unnecessary. For some reason, our area has just lowered the bar so low that parents don't care how many mentally handicapped, half-naked junkies their kids have to walk past just to get to school. And I feel like the rot that's going on in this area is like more or less going on everywhere. In like every occupation, in every corner of culture. Like, we should want to be glorious. We should want to demand excellence from ourselves and from the people around us. And I'll admit, okay, maybe 80 years ago, parents were too strict and people bullied girls for showing ankle, and they wouldn't hire you if you had a non-military tattoo. But most people, like under 40, can't really remember a time like that. Like this prudish time where you can't do anything. we haven't even been alive for that. Situational, maybe one-offs, maybe depending on your area. But for like 50 years, cultural standards they've been in this free fall. They've just been relaxing. And it's cost basically everybody. Like, what's the point of being able to get hired with a face tattoo if your odds of getting stabbed and teabagged on the street by a naked guy covered in lotion, it goes up? The odds of that have gone up like 1100%. So was it worth it? Maybe, I don't know. But my point is we go too far with this stuff, man. Like, I don't get why in our culture you can't just be a little more lenient on people who smoke weed without also getting nude bicycle protests like the one in Portland. And if you haven't seen it, look it up. That's a real thing. So let's be excellent, if for no other reason than it's just rarer than not being excellent. Like, you don't want to be common, huh? You don't want to be mediocre. And if you do, that's okay. But I would wager to say you're probably a minority in that mindset. I think people have hyperinflated egos. We just got to admit that even though we can't all be the greatest out there, like, what you get by at least trying is a life that is wildly better than the gas station people that just sit around laundromats and do kratom every day. At least give it a shot. Like, I will put this caveat on: expect nothing in return for excellence. People can smell if you're being performative. And most people, except for the best scammers in the world, can't hide that fact. You can't, if you're faking it, you can't hide it unless you're really good. So you just gotta lean into the excellence, my brother. You'll never quite feel like you hit the mark, like you hit the bullseye. But when you're at least trying to be glorious, trying to be something better than you were, you don't compare yourself to the goal. You compare yourself to where you started. And that's where, let me try to get my thoughts in order. And where you're at in the process will more than likely be better than where you started. That's what I was trying to say. So do like me. Start with something simple. A couple days ago, my friend and I were at the office, like I was cleaning my office or something, he was hanging out. And he started noticing, he expressed it to me, that I had developed a gamer slouch. You know, like head forward, neck forward, hunchback, that thing going on. And it kind of stung to hear that, because I had noticed it in the mirror, but I just kind of wrote it off as nothing. But 2025 bodied me, and I'll admit it, I started gaming a little bit more. Hence the channel. And I started working out a little bit less. So I started getting worried after he said that this forward neck hunchback was permanent. But I paid a visit to an old gym buddy, the deadlift. And within a week of deadlifting not very heavy weights, I was back to walking straight and tall. So start with the basics. Usually it's not as hard as you think it is in your head to start improving things around you, to start trying to be excellent. Start with posture, slower, clearer speech, keeping an honest account with your everyone in your life, like your friends and family. If you have a little advantage you can get and they don't know it, they haven't caught on, but you know it's there and you know it's wrong, just tell them, right? You'll be better for it than saving like $30 on your phone bill because your parents haven't noticed you're still on it. And after you do those basics, though, then you can start going to higher skills like playing the harp, I don't know, or raising a family of well-adjusted kids that don't have septum rings. You do this, and you will feel some weight of the world come off your shoulders. Because if you aren't trying to be excellent, if you're not trying to be glorious, and the key word here is trying, then you are a part of the amorphous, disgusting, self-loathing monster that's like rotting away society from the inside out. That's how I imagine it, by the way. That's how I imagine our cultural standards. I think of it in my head like a monstrous biomass of sin and goo out of a Meat Canyon video. But as soon as you start trying to make something of yourself, even if you never actually end up being great, you'll at least be free from the subconscious knowledge that you were part of that sad, freaky shit. Last thing I'll say is I've noticed this quality in the type of person that walks around saying, I'm an empath. I'm empathic. It's an empath thing. Those type people. I've noticed this quality where they seem to ignore or outright encourage the devolving standards of certain groups of people. They'll say something like, oh, it's mean or unfair to hold everyone to the same standard because, I don't know, colonialism. Some people are just differently abled. And to me, this empathic mindset, not empathy itself, this empathic mindset has always been like sick. Because what are they really saying? If you're like this, what are you really saying? Are you saying that certain people are incapable of being excellent? And if so, if that's what you're trying to say, what do you mean by that? Are you saying that it's biological, maybe? Are you saying that people that act like shit are fundamentally different than people that do all the right things? And if that is what you're saying, what does that say about you? That sounds pretty messed up to me. To write people off like that. These empath people, they talk like criminals and the mentally ill are basically pets. And if a pet pisses on the wall, you don't beat them, right? It's a pet. They don't know any better. And if some goon kills a young clerk at a new gas station he just opened for $25 and a pack of Newports, it's the same thing. He's just he's not capable of not murdering someone for Newports. Come on, why would you even hold somebody to a standard like that? Just let him, you gotta get it out of your system. I don't know. It's just sick. It's like they act like they care about unwell people, but they really just see themselves, the empathic people see themselves as above others and others as beneath contempt. That's how I take that. And I'm going to say no to that. Okay? I don't care what you look like or who you are or who you do in your bedroom. You are like me and I am like you, and I'm going to hold you to the same standards I hold myself to. And that is equality. That's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. So go out today, my friends. Start with the smallest thing you can and try to be excellent at it. And you're going to slip up. I slip up, and I'm going to slip up again and again and again and again. But it's an endless pursuit. And that's the point. It's like reading, or it's like playing guitar. Like, are you ever just done? Have you ever read the last book or played the last lick on a guitar? No, you're never done. And that's the point, and that's what makes it special. So thank you for watching. Song of the day, almost forgot, is The Past is a Grotesque Animal by Of Montreal. That is an 11-minute banger. I think it's 11 minutes long. And I always at least respect the songs that have the stones to go on for 11 minutes. But it's a weird one. Go give it a listen. And take care. I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye-bye. Be excellent. Be glorious.